Hey, Margarita. Like the music. Elevator. I think you're on mute, Margarita, if you're trying to.
Okay. I was sharing earlier when I was muted that Commissioner Chase did message to say that she wasn't going to be able to join the meeting.
Okay.
And that's the only person I heard from.
Great.
In terms of an absence.
We'll start in a minute or so.
How are you guys?
Pretty good. How was everyone?
Very good.
Can't complain.
So you went to 9:30 last time. And
It was a meeting.
it was a meeting. Thank you.
We had the riff session about you. I don't know if you saw that recorded, but that was the bulk of it.
Yeah, I expected that.
Yeah.
Well, I think we have everybody. It is 7:30, April 8th, 2021. I will call this meeting to order. This regular meeting will be conducted via telecommunications compliant with the provisions of the Brown Act and Governor Executive Order N 2920. Can I get a roll call? I don't know if Diana's on yet.
She's not, but she's on vacation, and I am both your liaison and recording secretary today. So I will call the roll call at this time. Commissioner Brecker.
Here.
Commissioner Chase. Absent. Commissioner Davis.
Here.
Commissioner Peel. Commissioner.
I have two last names as names, so yeah, it's fine.
I'm looking at an agenda to state Commissioner Fields, Commissioner Dooley.
Here.
Commissioner Hoffman.
Here.
Commissioner Yoshikawa.
Here.
And Chairperson Kaufman.
Present.
Okay. So I have Commissioner Chase absent.
Great. And I unfortunately missed the last meeting. I was on the road to Tahoe, I must confess. But I believe that everybody else was present. And if I have a motion to get approval of the meeting minutes from March 11th, 2021, that would be appreciated. Anyone present want to bring a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Dooley, motion approved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, I'll call a roll call vote. Commissioner Brecker,
Aye.
Commissioner Chase, Commissioner Fields,
Aye.
Commissioner Dooley,
Aye.
Commissioner Hoffman,
Aye.
Commissioner Yoshikawa,
Aye.
and Chairperson Kaufman.
I will abstain because I was not present.
Okay, motion still carries.
Okay, next agenda items, communications,
None were received.
right? How about oral requests?
None were received.
Okay. Reports from representatives. Carrie Perkins, is she available?
Carrie is also on vacation, so it's a spring break for a lot of people this week. So Carrie's also on vacation. She's attached her report to the agenda packet. And so you may reference it in terms of information. She added a few images to it too in terms of the carriage house exhibit. So if you want to take a look at the at her report and attachments, if there's any questions or discussion amongst the commission, we can certainly do that now. Otherwise, you can just refer to her report for more information. And if you have any questions after the fact, Carrie's always available to answer questions.
Okay, does anyone have any discussion items?
Related to the museum?
Hearing nothing, we will move to Ms. Tina Wong Erlings, Senior Services Supervisor.
Well, good evening, Chair Kaufman and members of the Civic Improvement Commission. Good evening, Margarita. Nice to be with you tonight. I just have a couple of quick updates for probably the mere fact that I'm the only full-time person at the Adult Center, so there's not a lot of new activities going on, but I did want to bring you up to speed on what we are doing currently. So we have good news on the income tax program because of the IRS extending the tax filing date to May 17th. Our tax aid program by the ARP program has been extended through May 14th. So the only change in procedure at this point is that interested persons need to actually come physically to the center on the designated days, on Tuesdays 1 to 5 or Fridays 9 to 1 to drop off, to actually pick up forms and then make their appointments to get their income tax completed. But through this extension period, the tax program's hoping to serve an additional 100 people. So we're super grateful. The tax volunteers have been so outstanding, especially during this COVID period of trying to figure out how to do these safely, not only for the patrons, but for themselves, because the majority of them are retired individuals. So if you know anyone that needs income tax at this point, please refer them over to the community center. It's not a service just for older adults. That's the misconception. It's really for anybody 18 and older. Secondly, so looking ahead, hard to believe May is next month. So Older Americans Month is traditionally in May, and this year's theme for 2021 is Communities of Strength. So to highlight the event, senior centers in 3 counties, Santa Clara, San Mateo, and San Francisco counties are collaborating to host a virtual Older Americans event in celebration of the month of May. So the event will launch with speaking engagement titled Time and Nature, hosted by, currently it's Open Road, but some of you may be familiar with the former Bay Area Backroads. Those of you that grew up in the Bay Area have heard that at one point or another, whether you've watched the show. Journalist Doug McConnell. So it's a pretty cool inaugural event to launch Older Americans Month. And then following throughout the entire month of May, there'll be a range of activities, including exercise, fraud prevention, even a virtual concert, cooking lessons, a Mother's Day dance party, and even a concert. So the City of Campbell will be providing a free line dance class instructed by our own instructor, Mandy Muscolo, on May 7th. All these virtual activities will be free to older adults age 50 plus. All they need to do is to pre-register to receive their Zoom link. So it's kind of exciting, in the midst of, this kind of different time that we're in. We found a way to really celebrate and collaborate. And I, frankly, am excited about it. So if you know any older adults that might be interested in, some virtual activities that are kind of out of the norm, you can see the range there. Do let them know about this Older Americans Month celebration in May. Again, all of our other activities, we have the lunch program, which Commissioner Hoffman and the Rotary continues to volunteer, and we're super grateful. We have an array of different classes that we're offering virtually as well as outdoor. But with minimal staff, we're really not in expansion mode at the moment. We're more in just trying to continue what we have and really serve the clientele that have come back, since the lockdown. So with that, I'll entertain any questions you may have or any suggestions you may have as well.
Any questions for Tina?
Tina, on the line dance class, they need to all be Campbell residents, right?
No, not at all, especially
Okay.
with this virtual format.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. We actually did this last year as part of Active Aging Week, which is celebrated in October. Mm-hmm. We collaborated with several different cities. This is much larger because of the 3 counties. But out of this, what we got, at least in Campbell, was that we had people register for our line dance that had never registered, and they were coming from various cities, even down the peninsula. So no, not at all. There's no residency requirement, as long as the requirement really is the ability to access Zoom.
Mm-hmm. And that's a Friday, the 7th. What time is that?
From 11 to 11:45.
Okay.
Shall I send the link to Margarita for the commission?
Yeah, sure. That would be great.
Sure.
I can do that.
Yeah, I was going to send that to all my aunties and see if they want, but they're not in Campbell, but if they can register, then maybe I can convince them.
Absolutely.
And Tina, in that same vein, I know you mentioned that the income tax assistance is open to people of all ages. Does that apply for these other activities, or do you have to be 50 and older?
No, yeah, that's a very good question. So income tax is really community benefit. So, everything else that I talk about is mostly 50 and above. In fact, senior nutrition, the lunch program, is 60 and above because it's a partnership with the county of Santa Clara. But I normally highlight the income tax program because a lot of our patrons are older adults, but it's really for anybody in the community. In fact, we have staff that come over and have their taxes done. It's just a wonderful benefit. And naturally, the volunteers can handle, basic income tax preparation. It's not for individuals with a lot of different, complicated taxes to complete. But they get, really folks from everywhere. And again, not a residency requirement either. They do track where the individual lives, just so they, I think it's for reporting purposes. But yeah, it's a wonderful service, and it really starts happening like in the beginning of the year. We start getting calls, and this year, their ability to put it all together and make it happen was just tremendous. I can't tell you the efforts that they put forth, and really and even putting their own safety, at risk in order to do this for the public is tremendous.
Yeah, no, that's great. Sounds like a great program. Anybody else have questions or comments? Okay, thank you, Tina.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Really appreciate it.
Right, next on the agenda are reports from staff.
Yeah. All right. Well, good evening. I want to start off by acknowledging and thanking and giving a big thank you actually to Commissioner Fields for speaking to the City Council on Tuesday during the Measure O presentation of the library schematic design. As you know, the library consultants attended the March meeting and previewed with you some of that presentation. And during that meeting, the Civic Improvement Commission provided feedback regarding the importance of public art, not only within building it into the design, but also providing funding for it throughout the process. So it was, I think, I had several staff people say, great job on having, having a Commissioner Fields speak, and that really appreciate his comments, very articulate and succinct. So thank you. And I think as I shared on Monday with the Public Arts Subcommittee, as the item continues to progress through the building and budgeting process, I think it's important to continue to provide public comments for whatever the commission wants to support. So, please keep these, I will bring them back to your attention, but, it would, I think it was a great tradition that hopefully Commissioner Fields started in terms of having a commissioner actively speak to the City Council about items that this commission sponsors or it's really cares about. So thank you. We have two commissions that are actively recruiting. The Historic Preservation Board has an opening, and the Youth Commission they recruit for positions every year. So they have they're casting their wide net at this time and accepting positions from Campbell residents, ages I think it's like 14 to 17. It's on the city clerk's website, and then if you have specific questions in terms of if you'd like me to forward a link to somebody, I can certainly provide that to you. But just want to let you know that we have two commissions, and any youth or neighbors or friends that are Campbell residents that may be interested, please share the news with them. We also, yeah.
Oh, they did a great job of posting it on Facebook, so it's easy to forward there as well.
Thank you for sharing that, because I don't visit the city's Facebook page, so thank you. I appreciate that. Also, the recreation department is starting to come online more and more with more hybrid and in-person programs for the youth. So I want to encourage everybody also to take a look at the recreation website for their spring schedule calendar, their summer calendar. I think as great trend nationwide and certainly countywide, with our vaccination rates improving and our cases, our positivity rates lower, we are seeing this positive trend towards more in-person offerings and class schedules. So encourage you to continue to look at the recreation website, and the recreation also has a great Facebook page. So I do, that's also a great resource for information. And another exciting update is that I think in a few weeks, the city will have completed its retrofit of all streetlights to LED streetlights. I think we've been doing them in phases throughout the years, but as of this month, the entire city, every streetlight in the city will be an LED streetlight. So that's been a very laborious effort, and we've taken us a while because we've been piecing the funding throughout the years. But as of this month, it will be completed, and it's very exciting to have our city all on these LED streetlights that not only have a longer lighting life, have a better quality too, and are definitely more energy efficient. So that concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you, Margarita. And thank you very much, Commissioner Fields, for stepping up and attending that city council meeting. I know you did a great job presenting our ideas for the program, so I really appreciate that.
In 2023, I'm going to look up at that public art and say it all started Monday night.
That's exactly. We should have a plaque.
Yeah.
Anybody have questions or comments for Margarita? Hearing nothing, thank you very much. We will move to new business. And the first agenda item on new business, neighborhood association assistance grants.
So
Yes.
actually, we launched the online application and sent out last week a note to all the leads, which I believe you guys all read or it was forwarded to you, giving them the heads up. So the link is now operational, and I don't think we've got any applications in yet, have we, Margarita? Okay.
No.
Okay. And I actually have a half written post on Nextdoor that I will get out tonight as a reminder to all of the different neighborhood associations in Campbell. And then I'll probably send that out again in next week. So I haven't looked at the website. Do we have anything on the website, Margarita, for like the actual, like a blurb on the city website saying, you know, applications are open and now?
We do.
Okay. I
So
didn't.
can you, am I sharing my screen? Am I sharing the screen? Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the Civic Improvement landing page, and there's a Neighborhood Association Assistant Grants. There's a sub page.
Cool.
And now open. And we link them.
Links to the forum. Yay.
It's working.
Great. Well, I hadn't had a chance to review that. Thank you for putting that up and publishing it. And thanks to Diana. I know she's not here, but for all her work on the online forum and the subcommittee as well. So I think this should be much, much easier, user-friendly, et cetera. And, you know, we're just going to continue with this really condensed timeline so that we can get this all completed this fiscal year and then kind of start over and do it again in the new fiscal year. And, you know, towards the end of the summer, open it up again for next year. So tell everyone, if you know anyone of the leads or anyone from their particular neighborhood associations, that they can apply for this and they should apply for this and they need to do it, quickly. And if they don't get around to it, that there'll be another opportunity later in the late summer to apply for next year. But, this is money that they could definitely take advantage of now for their operating costs or budgets, things, whatever they choose to use it for. Not whatever, but of the eligible expenses.
So that's a good segue into the items B and C under this agenda. The item B is listed because we have received one email from the Pruneyard Dry Creek Association that they were not able to use their funds from that the neighborhood that the CIC awarded back in 2019 for the 2020 calendar year. And the reason they couldn't use them is because of the shelter in place. They had no events, and they weren't able to use the funds. So their question was, what do we do? Do we return them? Is there an extension of time? What do we do? I see Commissioner Bracker's hand up. Did you want to ask a question now, or? Oh,
so I can wait. It's a general comment regarding the website, but yeah, sorry.
Okay, perfect. So they haven't used their funds, so they were asking, what do we do? Which brought us toward, looking at the policy, both the policy and the Neighborhood Association Assistance Grant Award Agreement. Those are attachments in your agenda packet. Mm-hmm. And both the policy and the agreement state that, there's no time extensions, no time extensions to expend grant money. Mm-hmm. And it does clearly say that in the policy, there's a section 1.28.9 regarding notification and terms. And it says that any unused funds will be returned to the city. So because this is the existing policy, That is what we will abide by in terms of not providing for any funds from 2019, 2020, not providing any time extensions. And we will be asking for funds, a return of funds if receipts can't be provided. So wanted to, I'm new to this, so I appreciate it. And I think there's a couple of new commissioners, so I appreciated kind of really rereading the policy and getting some clear guidance in terms of what to do in this situation. But there is also an opportunity, since one of the recommendations of the subcommittee was to change the timing of the grant to align with the fiscal year. That will require a policy change, because currently the policy also says that in that same section, that it's a January through December thing, right? That's the timing.
Yes.
The 12-month period ending in December. Yeah, so we're gonna have to go to council anyways for next year for the next cycle to change the timing, which is no problem. We will get a motion from the commission and we will put it on a council calendar. But if it raised the question that if we perhaps the commission might want to discuss or propose a change regarding time extensions or some language regarding unforeseen circumstances or something. We never ever had to live through a pandemic or something like this. We hopefully maybe never will, but we at least wanted to present this discussion topic to the commission to see if any other changes to that language or to that section would be desired, so that we can present them to council.
Yeah. So I don't know if anyone, go ahead, Commissioner Brockner.
I was just going to ask, so in the event that we do get money back, does that roll into the next year's budget and expand it? Or is it kind of like null and void?
General fund, right?
Yeah, and it's kind of tricky even because we've already closed and audited our books for that fiscal year.
Ooh.
But we will let finance department handle that. But it will be null and void. We wouldn't keep it within the program.
Oh, okay. So it wouldn't expand the amount of money we could give out now.
No.
Bummer.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Well, does anybody else feel as though bootstrapping some sort of extension or unusual circumstances to an agenda item to change the policy makes sense? Because I tend to think it does.
But then I guess my question, just as for sake of discussion, who would be the kind of governing body of that? Who would determine if extenuating circumstances was approved or not approved, or what circumstances might those be? Acts of God, or just how expansive do we want to be with that?
Well, yeah, I was going to say, do we want to rewrite the policy, or do we want to just grant kind of like a one-time pandemic dispensation?
I don't think we can for this one, because the policy was set in stone when they.
What I meant was, wouldn't we have to go to council and request it
for a change?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You could put language in there in case there's a future pandemic. Yeah, you could. Yes. Yeah, I mean, if you want to call it out specifically, if if there's a pandemic, that you can add whatever language you want. Yes, but that would be for future grants, not for.
Yeah, future grants.
You have to give them back, right?
Yep.
So people, should reapply, I guess, if they think they're going to be able to use it for this coming year.
Yeah, because we do have National Night Out coming up in August.
Mm-hmm.
Is it National Night Out in August?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
But that falls into the next fiscal year. We'll have already closed out this grant cycle.
Yeah, we may end up not giving out any grants and getting money back from folks.
Well, I think that. Yeah, I don't know what's been turned in as far as receipts or, and whatnot, but for this grant cycle, this new one that we just opened on April 1st, you know, we were pretty clear in all the communication that went out that make sure you review your receipts and what your expenses were, you know, between last year and then June of this year, because you will be required to submit receipts. And so you might want to, you know, request less than you typically have in the past, just because you haven't been able to do the events or other activities that they typically do in a year.
Mhm.
I would tend to agree with Commissioner Hoffman too, that I don't know, because this current cycle is for such a short time window that maybe that, you know, I don't know. And if we're already being told we may have to return money, it may be that we don't have any applications, but that's okay. But I think in the, you know, moving forward, especially with these policy changes, you know, it's going to be beneficial to the entire policy and all associations who apply.
Mm-hmm. So how does anybody else have an opinion as far as trying to write in, you know, a change in policy as far as, you know, any exceptions to the turning in receipts by deadline clause?
So it would be this part. If you, it's this language here. The no extensions to expend grant money will be granted. So it would, the question would be, would you like to put in some language that provides extensions?
I mean, maybe you feel like we want to have something for extenuating circumstances. I mean, nobody would have known we would have a pandemic, and we can't. The only thing we could have done would have been to do something last year, but none of us knew this was going to last so long. Yeah. So, you know,
I mean, maybe we could put in something general, like you say, just as an extenuating circumstance.
Like a pandemic.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense, and have it be somewhat broader language than just specific to a pandemic.
Well,
circumstances, unusual circumstances, something along those lines.
Couldn't we just, oh, sorry. I was gonna say, couldn't we just add a simple like prefatory phrase, you know, at the beginning of it, and just say, barring any, you know, world-changing extenuating circumstances, comma, no extensions to expend grant money, blah, blah, blah. That could just simply be our change, and that kind of covers it without having to redraft the whole policy.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I'm not sure that we'd have to redraft the whole policy. I think we can add some qualifying language at the beginning of the paragraph, and then maybe something at the end saying if a request for an extension must be made, here's what you have to do that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. If nobody else has any concerns as to, you know, what that might look like, and you know, determinations that would need to be made. I guess that's a good question for the chair, considering your profession. You know, how, I mean, really, like how it's probably fine. Like we've said in the past, it's only, you know, it's a few $100s, but
yeah, I don't think we'd want to bother city council with that, but I think that you know, I absolutely think that there should be some sort of language in there for extenuating circumstances. Doesn't necessarily have to be a pandemic. I'm sure there's other good reasons why.
So should we just make a motion, Margarita?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I'll move to add language to the extension paragraph of the policy to add barring extenuating circumstances, comma, no extensions.
I'll second.
That leaves it wonderfully vague. No, because that gives us plenty of wiggle room.
Yeah.
Well, the city attorney may actually take a look at it and give an opinion. I'm suspecting Margarita will need to run it by him.
Well, yes. and I'm sure Bill will clean it up if necessary, or recommend more appropriate wording.
Yes.
We'll just tell them we have an
Attorneys
attorney on the
like it
commission.
vague. That's good for business.
We'll say we have an attorney on the commission and this has been vetted and we're done.
He was the one who suggested it. It's perfect.
So the motion says that you will be adding the language barring extenuating circumstances, comma, no extensions to expand Grameen will be granted.
And also we would need to change the 12-month period ending in December. So it would be ending in June. While we're at it in this paragraph.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, I would also add.
We need to change that paragraph also needs to be changed.
Activities, projects.
With all of this, one motion?
You can, but it probably will be cleaner to do two. So let's just do the first motion so that we're clear.
Hold on, the first motion is with respect to the language that you're highlighting. I suggest we add at the end to request an extension. They must be in writing and email to whoever the appropriate person is.
It would probably be to the city manager's office, right? Because that's the, okay, so that's that a friendly amendment that the maker of the motion wants to accept?
Yes.
All right, so to request an extension.
Please contact the city manager's office
Contact the city manager's office.
The request must be in writing to the city manager at whatever the email address for.
The request must be in writing and sent
to the city manager at.
Well, I'll just write to the city manager's office and
yeah,
the city manager's office, yeah.
Okay.
And our website.
Okay with that?
So motion by Commissioner Yoshikawa, second by Commissioner Hoffman.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I agree with the amendment.
Okay, I will do where is my? I will do a roll call vote now. Commissioner Brucker.
Aye. Or yay.
Commissioner Chase. Commissioner Fields.
Aye.
Commissioner Dooley.
Aye.
Commissioner Hoffman.
Aye.
Commissioner Yoshikawa.
Aye.
Chair Kaufman.
Aye.
All right, motion passes.
Okay, and then instead of calling out each paragraph, maybe we can just address the date change, the timeline change, and then the motion could be to, find and replace the correct months.
Okay.
Per the new timeline. Would that, does that make sense, everyone?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I guess I'll move again to amend the timeline for the Neighborhood Association Assistant Grant Program to change it from calendar year to fiscal year.
Second the motion.
Wait, hold on. Sorry. And to replace all of the timeline information in the policy with the new said timeline.
Okay. Does the second Chair Kaufman agree?
Yes.
All right, roll call vote. Commissioner Brucker.
Aye.
Commissioner Chase. Commissioner Fields.
Aye.
Commissioner Dooley.
Aye.
Commissioner Hoffman.
Aye.
Commissioner Yoshikawa.
Aye.
And Chairperson Kaufman.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Motion passes.
So thanks for pulling that up, Margarita. So so that's where we are with the grant. Spread the word and encourage people if they have expenses.
Can we get
Sorry.
this on maybe the mayor's, I don't know if it was on, I don't remember. I listened to it, but I don't remember if I heard it. Could this be on the mayor's announcements, or is this not appropriate for that? It can't hurt, even though it's the, when they have their next meeting, it may be the last day, but it gives.
Yeah, no, you're right. We
If
can't.
somebody comes to us after the date, I mean, I don't know if we want to talk about any date extension now before, but because we're only 2 weeks away, or less than 2 weeks away, right?
Yep. 20th.
Yeah.
But you're also changing the timeline to fiscal year. So I think in August, I believe, is when you want to have the next application cycle launch. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, so we can leave it, and we may not get any this time, but.
And one thing to mention, as you talk to any of your neighbors or community leaders, et cetera, if you do bring this up, the deadline is April 20th. It's all online, so it's pretty easy and accessible to everyone, 24 hours a day. But this may encourage people, if they had kind of toyed with the idea of doing a mailer or a flyer or something that hasn't been kind of top of mind, or it's always been kind of on the back burner, maybe now's the time that they want to, since we're in this pandemic and we're still sheltering, whatnot, maybe they want to take this time to put out a mailer in the real USPS mail and, get out to their residents, or pound the pavement and drop off flyers or whatever, but they might use those funds in ways that they hadn't in the past, or just for other back burner items.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And you'll put that in your next door blurb?
Sure. Or do you think it'd better serve to just send it directly to the neighborhood leads?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not? Right. Because you never know. There may be neighbors out there going, what's a neighborhood association?
Yeah.
Speaking of updates, on the city's main page, up at the very top navigation in the living and visiting menu, there's a direct link to the neighborhood associations page. We need to update the first paragraph.
Okay.
And just announce that the program's open, or yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Yes.
It's in 2 places. All right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks for catching that.
Great, and
Okay.
thank you. First of all, any other comments or questions? Thank you, Commissioner Yoshikawa, for taking the laboring oar, and of course, Diana and Margarita and Commissioner Dooley as well. You put in a lot of hard work to pare down the form, and I think it makes a lot of sense and looks great. So,
and thank you, Chairperson Kaufman, for also serving on the subcommittee and all your input.
You're very welcome. Anybody else on new business? If not, let's move to good of the game. Does anybody have anything to share?
I got nothing this
Anything
month.
going on?
Not that you guys probably want to hear about.
Time to shine. What do you?
I know. I mean, I'm excited about the fact that I was finally able to make a vaccination appointment, but that's about it.
There you go.
I had to make it in Alameda County, unfortunately.
Oh, there's a bunch that just opened up at PAMF yesterday.
Oh.
Oh, really?
Yes. You could always cancel your appointment in Alameda if you are able to get another one.
It's at the fairgrounds. I don't mind going.
Well, hopefully everybody's got their shot soon, or scheduled, or hoping to.
Absolutely. Okay, how about subcommittee? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just asking I know that nobody has any events, but I also wanted to ask the commission if anyone has heard about anything as far as, events kind of in the area that have been rescheduled or moved forward, just, like big concerts that maybe have been put back on the calendar, or any other events.
I mean, sports are coming back. The Giants have their home opener tomorrow, and the Warriors are doing rapid testing and letting people in. And so
Warriors doing, they're doing a limited capacity, right?
they are, yeah, like 35%.
Yeah.
So yeah, seems like stuff's coming.
Maybe in 2 months we'll be there.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, let's move to subcommittee reports. Campbell Cares.
If the subcommittee doesn't mind, I'd just like to start with the social media engagement piece. So I was contacted via email by the subcommittee regarding social media engagement. And so it also gave me the opportunity to kind of learn about what a recommended process is. A recommended process. I'm going to move my screen back to, I'll just stop sharing. We don't need to share anymore. To look into what a recommended process is for social media engagement. So what I've learned is that the Youth Commission does have a Instagram. They have an Instagram account, I believe. But it is run by staff. And for future, and I think that might stop, but for any future social media accounts, what the city would like to recommend is that we push out any social media posts from commissions via the existing city channels. So the subcommittee, the Campbell Care subcommittee, could write the content, create the content, everything around it, but our social media coordinator would post it and distribute it via our official channels, either whether it's the YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or anything like that, because that has also the side benefit of continuing to use the official channel as the main communication for city events, as well as drawing more traffic and increasing or diversifying the type of information that goes out there, so that she's not always just informing the public about meetings or government events. It also provides a nice opportunity to let our residents know what the commissions are working on. So I do think this is a good way. So if any of the subcommittees have, for example, neighborhood association grant program, that's something that we could be posting via the I'll talk to Instagram. I'm not sure what the best channel would be, but if to the extent that the subcommittees create the posts, and our coordinator will be more than happy to promote it via the existing channels.
Did we hire a new social media coordinator?
We have Leticia Moresco. She is mostly working out of PD and handles most of their social media, but she also she also oversees the city side.
Oh, great. Okay.
So Margarita, so I'm sorry that you didn't join our subcommittee meeting Tuesday. So because we already have some things set up, which we're going to have to hold on. Can we meet with Leticia then? Because we're trying to push things out on a regular basis. Is she set up to be able to take that? Because we're looking at doing senior and youth engagements on a regular basis, like every month or more often than that. So it's not going to be just something like a neighborhood grant that's being posted, but it's going to be trying to get, and we really want to use Instagram a lot more than Facebook, because that's where the kids are. So we probably need to meet with her. We need to have our, we're trying to start some programs in the next month or so. Okay. That's kind of where we stand, and I'll have Commissioner Dooley pop in if I miss anything here. But we're trying to get it going. So if Leticia is going to be the one to take it from us and post it, then I would like to have her be part of our discussion so that we can make sure she has the bandwidth. We were trying to avoid too much staff time, and so now it looks like that's not going to be the case. So we need to make sure she can take it, and then we have a good way to give it to her. Okay. And then we'll have to take down our Instagram page. So we have, we had it all set up, and we were the Campbell Cares page on Facebook, but that's kind of an unofficial page anyway, the one on Facebook. So Yeah, we need to take it down. We didn't get a clear message back from you until tonight. And, you know, so I didn't realize everything had to go through the city. I must have missed an email. It's very possible. But, so what we'll do is when we meet again, which I can't remember what we decided, but we'll start doing some things via email. We'll loop in Leticia and ask her a bunch of questions on, you know, this is what we're thinking, how's the best way to do it. And then we'll make sure we don't post anything on, we haven't done anything yet. We were just going to talk about having it today. So
even
Carol?
if it's just one, if it's just one of you who, if for the sake of time, right, since you want to get started soon, if just one of you or two, you know, has a time, we can record it and share it with the other third person who, or the other people who aren't able to join the meeting. But yeah, I'd like to connect you with Leticia so you can get these, yeah, so you can get, she understands the process, and you also feel comfortable with the level of support that she can provide.
yeah, that we put together a program that's going to be able to be supported through what we've been thinking. We were willing to do it ourselves. But you know, I agree. I think it's better to go through official city channels. And as long as Instagram's an option, then I think we're okay. So, and Leticia, I already know Leticia, so we'll start an email thread with her. We'll probably copy you too, Margarita, and then just talk about what we're thinking, and then we can bring it back to the commission. So next month we'll have a more solid idea. We're just kind of, you know, we have some really good thoughts around senior engagement and youth engagement, especially getting the youth ready to go back to school and all the challenges they're going to have, that kind of thing. And then the seniors who are stuck at home, how do we get some word out to them? Some of it'll be social media, some of it'll be flyers that we may deliver to the the senior homes, senior facilities, things like that. We may deliver things to the schools. So we're trying to put together a couple of programs for outreach, really focused on outreach and support that way. So anything else, Commissioner Dooley, you want to add that I missed?
No, I think you covered it. We definitely had a few different ideas. We had so many ideas. We were very broad for a little while. And we kind of had to narrow it down and get realistic about what we could actually do, you know. And I think we are looking at having a different sort of theme, you know, ongoing. So we definitely need to get the social media part squared up so we know how to make sure that we're doing that in the right way.
Okay.
And we'll connect with the Youth Commission as well with what they're doing when we're talking, you know, to the youth. We'll try and get everything kind of coordinated together as best we can. But we'll have a better outline, I think, next month of what things we want to start tackling by June or July.
Great. Well, thank you, Commissioner Hoffman. Commissioner Dooley, sounds like you're laying a really good foundation, and we'll have a good game plan going forward.
Chair Kaufman, I see a couple of hands up. I'm not sure if it's for this item or, oh, they are.
I'll do it.
So I'll just jump in. So I just wanted to offer a suggestion, if you guys are willing to, you know, consider it, that maybe Campbell Cares can do one, quarter, whatever you call it, different segments or themes, maybe do something, along the anti-racism, theme. Just a suggestion.
Well, yeah, we appreciate it. Right now, we were first thinking of kind of mental health and just the change, you know, how the isolation is really messing with the young people. And then maybe layer on top of it what you're suggesting over time. Absolutely. Thank you for the suggestion.
Yep.
And then what I was going to mention is in regards to the Facebook page, depending on the type of page it is, you might be able just to add Leticia as an admin on it rather than shut it down. Because you'll take from a Facebook perspective, you'll take a significant step backwards if you create a new group.
Yeah, well, that's a good idea. We'll talk with Leticia about the 2 pages that we already have set up, the Instagram and the Facebook, and see if there's some way we can leverage those. So yeah, so we'll put together an email amongst the subcommittee, and then we'll involve her to figure out what we want to ask. Now, that's a good suggestion. We're not going to take anything down yet. The Campbell Cares has been up on Facebook for a while, and it was related to suicide prevention and the activities around that. So that's what we're using it for the last several years.
There is a way to merge the group and keep
Yes.
followers.
Yep.
So I offer.
You know something about that.
I know a guy.
Thank you. We'll take you up on that.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut anybody short or cut anybody off or cut the discussion short. Does anybody?
I was only going to say, just make sure, especially for engaging with the youth, that you do stories, like Instagram stories, not just the feed posts, because that's very engaging these days.
Great.
Thanks.
Very good to know.
Yeah.
Any other comments? Awesome. So we'll move to neighborhood association assistant grants, which I think we've already covered, unless anyone has any further comments. We'll move to then explore art, which I can represent to the commission that we've been working very hard, had a number of subcommittee meetings. And Davis, I don't know if you're able to pull up the agenda items that we've been discussing. Might be helpful for the commission to see.
I can. Can I? Yeah, I can share. Give me 1 second.
Did you guys watch my crazy video about sidewalk art?
No.
I'm not sure if I ever got it.
Oh, I forwarded it to Margarita.
Yes, you did. Yes. Yep.
I don't know if I saw, I have not seen it. If I may have missed it in my email.
Yeah,
but I'll check.
we've asked Margarita to do
send
like
it.
hundreds of
Oh.
things, so I understand.
You just keep throwing it at her. Just toss it over the fence,
No, I have it.
Thank you. Sorry.
Well, we've come up with 3 main ideas, which include sidewalk art. They include neighborhood signs, as well as a mural proposal that we are laying the groundwork for, and really trying to lay the groundwork for a public art proposal agenda foundation going forward. Meaning we'd like at some point for public art to eventually become a piece of the city of Campbell's budget. We feel as though right now, obviously with COVID and the funding issues, that is premature at this point, but that's what we're really trying to do, is set up the program from the ground up. And we're starting with basically these 3 ideas: a sidewalk art, neighborhood signs, and the wall mural proposal. We've also been interfacing with Carrie Perkins at the museum, and she's been very helpful in giving suggestions and providing some input, as well as we're setting up a Google Docs, or I think we have set up a Google Docs link to collect all the items from Art Outside the Box program or anything that the city has already done, so that we have a model and a protocol in place for projects going forward. So we're in the works on doing that. Mary Ann or Davis, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that actually we do have kind of on the docket the the murals, a temporary exhibit of the murals at the museum probably. And then adding kind of a sister piece with the library and having either like reading programs or maybe some discussions, I don't know, discussion forum with guest speakers or a speaker series or something like that. So partnering with the library and the museum and other, volunteers to kind of have a whole social justice program with that display. That's it.
So as you can see here, this is a PowerPoint Dave has put together with some snippets of the ideas of the proposals that we are moving forward with. We're still in the infancy stages, so any input the commission has or comments, we welcome those. Suggestions, I know Commissioner Hoffman worked extensively on Art Outside the Box and has already provided some input. So anything that you think might be helpful, please share.
And if I could report back something from last Tuesday's meeting with the subcommittee, I spoke with the city manager in terms of any council report or anything council authority we need on any of these items. Since they're on your work plan, and especially if the murals or anything's on private property, then as we launch anything, whether it's fundraising or not request for proposals, then he would like to send an information memorandum from him to the city council directly, just giving them the notice that this is about to be launched, so that they're aware of it, but not a formal city council discussion seeking authority or anything. Where you would need to seek authority if it's in the public right away. Mm-hmm. But so far, I think what you've discussed is private property. So just as you launch, we'll just send something internally to the city council letting them know that's about to go live.
Great.
Yeah, the difference with the Art Outside the Box program was it was all, basically city items. So it was all straight city, and then it was donations on top of that. Mm-hmm. So, that's what makes that one a little bit different. But your ideas are great. Fantastic. Neighborhood signs. What a great idea. Love it.
Yeah. They're so cute.
Thank you. And we're also probably not limiting it to just the neighborhood. We talked, and Commissioner Fields came up with a really good idea down Bascom, where the city of Campbell border meets San Jose. Right now, there is a sign there that's one of those more reflective signs, but we're thinking about maybe we're going to propose something more substantial than that. Welcome to the city of Campbell, the Orchard City type sign that's made out of concrete and has perhaps a plaque for a sponsor or two. So we'll see what happens. Any other questions or comments? Okay. I think that's about it. It is 8:30 p.m. Unless there's anything else.
Sorry, Bill. I do have one thing. Sorry guys. I just wanted to look at the youth photo contest, because that is a subcommittee. And I just wanted to kind of see if you guys felt like it'd be a good time to try and bring this back, or, is it, just run in parallel with COVID, and like, as long as COVID's not happening, we're not doing it.
I think I'm on that committee with you, right? We've never met.
Yeah, because it was canceled, and then we were at the note, and I looked at the old minutes, and it said to revisit it in March. So just wanted to, the subcommittee can meet, but I just wanted to poll the committee, the commission real quick.
Was it a big lift to organize?
No, medium.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you
But
have
I
to get
think that-
judges and sponsors and photographer, you know.
Yeah, you might not but be able to do things, some of the stuff in person that you did last time, which was really awesome. And sponsors, depending on, you know, how they're doing in business. But it could be a huge lift to the, you know, the young folks wouldn't be able to go through the schools per se, because a lot of schools are just kind of getting back into things. And the last thing they need is to deal with this.
Yeah.
And we could consider, instead of doing either doing it next, you know, either doing it or do a winter or a spring or something, because the kids are all kind of zoomed out and, you know, but I think it could be a lift for them. So it's
Right.
it's like a double-edged sword. So I, you know, you kind of hate to just say no. You know, maybe you can talk to the youth commission and say, hey, we're thinking about doing this.
Good idea.
You know, if you were going to do it, what's a
Yeah.
good time period for you?
Sure. That's a great idea.
Yeah. And see, you know, because right now people are just coming back and, you know, but it's also a lift. So I'm on the fence. I'm on the
Okay,
fence.
so I'll reach out to the youth commission, and then the subcommittee we'll try and get together before the next meeting. But you know, let that kind of you know, think about it. If you have any thoughts, then we can discuss, you know, next month.
Is anyone else on the subcommittee?
I think we were short one.
Commissioner Brocker, are you on any subcommittees? I feel like we put all the subcommittees together before you came.
You can run, but you can't hide.
And of course, you know, the whole commission would help, so that maybe all the work wouldn't just fall on the subcommittee. You guys could, because when we used to do the poster contest, the whole commission did it. And then you just kind of, you know, gave out things to other folks. I mean, I don't know. I was going to ask Margarita if she had any idea when the city planned to reopen enough that we would have meetings live. Would it be this year? Or maybe not until next year. Any thought? You didn't mention it in your.
No, we don't have any indication. Not this rest of the fiscal year. I do know that much, but I think July moving forward, maybe, since given that most vaccinations will have happened, city staff was vaccinated, and then, you know, they're opening it up to everybody pretty much in a few weeks, right? So, but not till June. But we haven't had any indication of a timeline.
Oh, so June 15th doesn't necessarily factor in directly for us?
Not that I am aware of yet.
Okay.
Yeah, not that I'm aware of yet. I think.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You probably need to wait to see what Santa Clara County does.
Right.
Yeah.
The governor may say so, but and whether we're on that same boat or not, we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for your input, and we'll, you know, chat about it in a month. Sorry to bring that up at the last second.
No, absolutely. Anybody else have anything? Okay, well, great seeing everybody via Zoom. One of these days we'll be in person.
Thank you.
It is 8:35, and I will adjourn the meeting.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you guys.
Thanks,
Have a good
everybody.
Night.
See you next month.
evening. Bye.